know the why human trafficking work is needed: to fight for the freedom of modern-day slaves. But love, passion, commitment isn't all you need to be an effective and successful anti-trafficking advocate. Learn the how. I'm Dr. Celia Williamson, Director of the Human Trafficking and Social Justice Institute at the University of Toledo. Welcome to the Emancipation Nation podcast, where I'll provide you with the latest and best methods, policy, and practice discussed by experienced experts in the field so that you can cut through the noise, save time, and be about the work of saving lives. I have Harold D'Souza on the line. He's going to be talking a lot about labor trafficking today because labor trafficking is in the U.S. and around the world, and he's going to talk about that. He is on the U.S. Advisory Council on Human Trafficking, and that council talks about the best ways to strengthen federal policy and programming. He is a founder of Eyes Open International, which does a lot of work in India. He is also on the board of directors for Justice at Last. He's on the board of directors for United Against Slavery. He's on the Global Sustainable Network to End Slavery, and their projection is they're trying to end slavery by 2030. He has a master's degree in commerce and marketing and general management. He has post-graduation diploma in human resource development, and he also has a bachelor's of law that he got from India just so he could better understand the law, and he puts that to use in his fight against human trafficking. So welcome, Harold. I'm so happy that you had the time to spend with us today.
Thank you very much, Celia. I really appreciate you creating awareness on labor trafficking and human trafficking. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much for doing this.
And so there's been a lot of work and a lot of talk about sex trafficking going on in the U.S. and around the world, but you're here to tell us that we need to be more aware of labor trafficking. So can you shed some light on it for us and teach us more about that?
Yes, especially in the United States of America, many, or I would say most of 80% of the Americans think that labor trafficking never happens in the United States of America. And whenever we talk of human trafficking, 90% of the people assume it's just sex trafficking. So people can't comprehend that labor trafficking can happen in the United States of America. And that is just the tip of the iceberg, to be honest. Because yet I always tell today also that 80% of the people or victims don't come out and share their story because they are scared that maybe the justice systems are not strong. They will get stigmatized, and the perpetrators, especially in labor trafficking, and when it is labor trafficking, honestly, I would say 90% are foreign nationals.
Yes, and so they're too afraid.
Yes, yeah, they're very afraid.
Get involved. I understand that you had been a labor trafficking victim at one point. Can you share your story?
Labor trafficking, I would say, can happen to anyone. So it doesn't, the caste, color, creed, nationality, education, doesn't matter. I'm so educated, but I just got manipulated, tricked, and trapped. And I had no clue. And just to again give a small tip about our culture, India is a different country, different culture. And I always tell that mine is an arranged marriage. Understand again, it's an arranged marriage. Mm-hmm. And I got married on May 29, 1994. So I have happily completed more than 25 years of my marriage life. But I never saw a physical photograph of my wife because that time there was no internet. But I went personally and saw her because my parents recommended, and we got married. But we are happily married. So what I'm trying to say, it is not about arranged marriage. I try to understand deep below the surface that it is a question of trust. It's a question of faith. It's a question of promise. Mm-hmm. So I came on 4 things to the United States of America. I came on a trust, I came on a faith, I came on a promise, and I came to live my American dream. Because the perpetrator who invited me, I trusted him. And in India, you get paid only monthly. Like here, you get paid per hour. or bi-weekly or weekly. I didn't know the culture. I didn't know the people. I didn't know how the law and order system works in the United States of America. It's a different country, and I was manipulated. The day I landed, my perpetrator asked me, Harold, do you have any cash? And I was carrying $1,000 cash. And he said, oh, this is America, Harold. You can't keep any cash on you. It's not safe. Give to me and give your documentations. So I, like a child, I just trusted him. I never even had a blink of an eye that, oh no, that's actually a red flag. But I had no clue. I just gave it.
And so the virtues that you have, which are wonderful virtues, faith and trust and promise, those are all wonderful things that we would hope that human beings have.
Right.
And so you were trusting in the fact that he said, oh, this might be a dangerous place. You shouldn't walk around with your papers and with cash on you. And so I'll hold it and I'll protect it for you. And then what happened?
Yeah, see, then he made me work in a restaurant. And before that, one step back, I was invited to the United States of America on an H-1B visa, which is a work visa.
Mm-hmm.
So I entered the country legally because I was qualified, and I came as a business development manager. And I had no clue because I didn't know the culture, I didn't know the people, I don't know how this country operates. And for us, I came on a salary of $75,000 per year, which is mucho money, we say, like a lot of money. Because, see, being an Indian or any Indian or any other country, we always convert dollars into rupees. That's the mentality. So, like $1 right now, I think is like 68 rupees or 70 rupees, which is big money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's huge money. And I came to fast forward my life for my kids. And I thought, wow, I can do so much. I can help my family back in my country. So I took a lot of huge debts when I came here, hoping that, I'll recover all the money. And so my wife used to always tell my perpetrator that you showed us the moon, but gave us dust. Then we were made to work in a restaurant. So, and that's why I tell people, where does human trafficking happen? Because I know it happens at restaurants, it happens at gas stations, it happens at convenience stores, it happens at motels. Apart from at agriculture farms and maybe at the nail salons and all. But these are the 4 places because I know I worked there. I worked with more than 100 victims in my span.
Wow.
So I know exactly what happens. I've lived there. So, I know how it works, how this operation works, what people do. I've worked with people from Mexico, how they came walking in the jungle eating leaves. They didn't have food to eat, so they ate leaves, they ate grass. I'm very sorry to say, but it is the truth that they didn't have water, so they drank their own urine.
Yes.
And you should understand and how people are come. Some people got caught. Some people then become isolated. They just come alone. I've heard horrific stories, and I've lived with them, and I've seen exactly how people are treated in labor trafficking. We are never called by our names. Every human being has a name. When you call a human being by your name, you feel good. You feel have that self-respect.
Right.
Your confidence. You feel nice. But somebody will call you hey, give some very cheap name. In labor trafficking, I was always called as illegal. Illegal, come here. They'll never ever call you by name. Anybody, and they'll always call you by that name. Number 1. Number 2, you have to understand how the psychology works. They are very smart because when they call you illegal, every victim in labor trafficking, it percolates in his mind, body, and soul that he's a criminal.
Yes.
That he'll go to prison, and they use 4 words. Even today, I'll tell you, believe me. So you go from San Diego to New York or anywhere, east or west, north or south. Perpetrators and traffickers in labor trafficking for foreign nationals, they know the 4 key words how to exploit them. Number 1, they'll say, I'll get you arrested. Number 2, I'll get you handcuffed. And when they say handcuffed, they put both their hands behind and show it to us. So, they'll put both their hands behind.
Yes.
You'll get handcuffed. Number 3, you'll get jailed. Number 4, you will get deported. Now, believe me, not a single foreign national, maybe he's from Mexico, uneducated. You don't know his background. He's actually an honest guy. He's a good human being. He has got no criminal records. Understand, every victim of labor trafficking has got no criminal records. But then they make you feel that you're a criminal and nobody wants to go to prison. They come here for a better living for their family.
Mm-hmm.
See, America is a very powerful country. You have to accept that and respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And today also I say, yes, America is a very powerful country. It's one of the best countries in the world. If there is heaven on earth, it is the United States of America. Because I've lived in different countries. I've lived in India.
Mm-hmm.
So after all the trauma that I've gone through, I still respect and admire the United States of America and the Americans. Americans are good people.
Mm-hmm. Well, at what point did you know something was wrong as you were working?
See, he had he planned it from the day one, which I didn't know. See, that was my biggest. That's why I used to feel so bad, miserable, like my self-esteem. That I said, how did I do this? Like, until today, at times it bothers me. Like, what did I do? Because it was not about me. It was about it was my wife, my two sons.
Mm-hmm.
So they are so smart that what is my weakness? My wife and my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do anything and everything to protect my kids.
Yes.
So he used to abuse my kids. See, it is two different things. I don't know exactly much about your family life. I think you got kids, right? I'm
Yes.
not trying to get very nosy, right? You have kids, right?
Yes, I have one. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, but what I'm trying to say is that you love your child, whoever it is,
Absolutely.
whoever the mother
Yes.
is, whoever the mother is, whoever the father is, in whatever situation is, even if he is homeless, he or she will always, a father or mother will love his child.
Absolutely.
Now, can you ever see or witness your child who is 4 years old being slapped in front of your own eyes
No,
for no
I
rhyme
couldn't
or reason?
imagine.
So what happens? I always tell that the child is hurt for 60 seconds because he's a child. It pains, he'll cry.
Mm-hmm.
But the father who's standing there, it hurts in my heart until today. It burns.
Yes.
It is. I just can't forget that. And the sad part is that I could not do anything. You know how it feels when you are there and you're in that position that you just can't do anything. It is the worst position for a man to live on this planet. And I always tell I'm a sinner. I always confess. I do presentation, I confess. I said I'm a sinner. I failed on 4 P's. I failed as a parent, I failed as a provider, I failed as a protector, and I failed as a person.
And that's the way the traffickers want to make you feel, so that you won't fight back, that they will have total control, because in reality, you're a wonderful person that wants to be a wonderful father and have faith and trust and promise in the American dream. But
Right.
when people come and isolate you and treat you as less than human, then you begin to start to feel that way. So what happened? How did you ever get out of that situation? And was this in the restaurant that this was happening?
Yeah, it was in the restaurant. That's what I told you. Like, it was very humiliating. Like, we started from working for 8 to 10 hours a day, and within few weeks, my wife and myself, we are working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, non-stop, 365 days. You break down. Your mind doesn't work. You can't think.
Yes.
Your priority changes. And my kids are alone. See, and in labor trafficking, I just want every community member in the United States of America, they can help people. They can eliminate this if everybody's little active. Even if everybody goes to a restaurant, they go to a motel, just be little active. And if they go to any foreign national restaurants, they don't get the tips. Even if they keep cash, they can talk to the waiter or waitresses. I was in DC last week, and that I was telling them, and she said, yes, after you told me, Harold, I went to this restaurant. She told me, especially it was an Indian restaurant, and there was this girl serving. And I asked her, but yeah, we don't get to get the tips. But I was shocked.
Wow.
Up to last, always give tips. I thought that, and when you told me that they don't get to get tips, and I asked her, but yes, we don't get to get the tips. So, like, she also being an Indian, she didn't know that, and she's here for the last 35 years.
Wow.
So these are small things, but this is the reality. And people think that, oh no, it doesn't happen. And that girl has been serving her for so many years. Like, she goes to that restaurant, but but these are certain things that happens, like in the case of human trafficking. In labor trafficking, you have to understand that the perpetrator or trafficker will give you lodging and boarding. So either if it's a motel, they'll give you one room in the motel. So then you do the entire day, you're just doing housekeeping, cleaning, and that's your job. if you're
Yeah.
in a motel. If you're in a gas station, what they do is that they'll keep them in their house and they'll pick them up every morning, 5 o'clock, drop them. At night, they'll pick them back.
Yes. So they don't have
And
freedom. Sorry, did you have a debt? Were you in debt bondage? Did you have to pay a debt back?
yeah, that's what I was telling you. That is the next step. That's what they do. So this is how they see. Basically, what happened. At least I came legally, but most of the victims don't have documentation. So I always tell, for any common man or even an American to survive in the United States of America, you need 4 things. Number one, you need a state ID. Number two, you need a work permit. Number three, you need a social security card. And number four, the most important, you need freedom.
Yes.
So when you don't have all these 4, you cannot survive. No one can survive in the United States of America. So what does the perpetrator do? He said, okay, I'm keeping the salary. Whenever you go back to Mexico, you go back to India, you go back to Nepal, you go back to Pakistan, I'll give you the money when you want it. Because they can't open a bank account in their case. But they manipulate them. So whenever they want money, they'll just give them $10, $20. They're staying over there only near the restaurant in the same premises. So they don't need, what do you need money for? And why? Forget the money. They know that labor is available 24 hours. Nobody will take time off. So he is guaranteed labor is available 24 hours. And there is, if it is rainy day or snow day, he can't say I cannot come to work. It is snowing because it is just walking distance or in the same premises. They sleep in the same premises.
Yes.
So that is how it operates. And many people, when you tell them, then they get it. But many times people don't understand. Like, they think, oh, this is America, so everybody has freedom. They have choice. They can do whatever they want. But they don't have it.
Yes. And when you're working 7 days a week, 12, 16-hour days, like you said a little earlier, you can't think straight. You can't strategize while these people are still demeaning you and treating you less than human. And that's what people need to understand.
And that it breaks you down. It's very easy to say when you read about, but that individual person, when you're abused every day, calling you illegal and using all the F word and the B word and other stuff words, when you're alone, it humiliates you so much. It hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand that when you are a good person or you're not done anything, you will not even do to a person who has done a crime. You will not abuse him. You have to respect him. We are human beings, but they don't do it. And that's how they create debt on that person. Then they'll say they'll not pay them. Then if something happens, they'll say, oh, you stayed here, now you owe me so much money. But in my case, it was different. My story, I don't know whether you know. He took a bank loan in my name. I never wanted a bank loan. But he said, oh, no, this is America. You need to build your credit. You need money. I'm going to buy you a house. See how he tricked me. He said, you need a house. You've got 2 kids. So he showed me these open houses, 1 or 2, with me and my wife. Mm-hmm. But I had no clue because India is different. Here it is different. I didn't know that here open houses, anybody can go in.
Yes.
And he said, I'm going to buy you this house. But that was a game plan. And then he took a bank loan, which I never applied. My wife was very against. She said, we don't need a bank loan. But anyway, one fine day, he picks me up from the restaurant, takes me. I don't know where he took me until today. I don't know which that place is. So he takes me to the bank and they straight takes me to the manager's cabin and they make me sign some papers. I signed, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 signatures. I don't know how many. I just signed. And there within like 7 or 8 minutes, they hand over me a check in my name. And that check is not like, it was like more than 5 figures.
Mm-hmm.
So we walk out within 8 or 10 minutes. And then he takes me to his house. And he lives in a multi-million-dollar house. And other thing, I just want people to understand that people who are into labor trafficking, they are multi-millionaires. They are rich people. They live a different image in the society. Why? Number one, the risk factor in labor trafficking is very thin, but the profit margins are very thick. Why they're doing this? It's a business.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $150 billion industry. So people know that the profit margins are very thick. Labor is very expensive here in the United States of America. So every victim puts in about minimum 80 hours a week. Understand that. It doesn't get overtime. And doesn't get even paid. So 80 hours, just imagine how much money the perpetrator is making in a year from one victim. So even if that person works for 2 years with him, that trafficker has made millions of dollars. And he has a couple of people working for him.
Yes.
So and then he takes me to his house. He goes me to his thing. He gets 2 shot glass. He puts a scotch. And he says, cheers, Harold, you're a rich man. Let's celebrate. And it was late afternoon. I never drink it. But anyway, I just gulped it. Not $10,000, which was not $20,000, was not $40,000, much more. And he said, Harold, you owe me this money. Do you know that how I felt? Within 1 second, I lost four things. I lost my voice. I lost my courage. I lost my hope, and I lost my freedom.
And so, did he end up taking the check and taking it for himself too?
Yeah, the next day.
So you ended up prosecuting your trafficker?
It didn't happen. See, another one thing, Celia, you know it. You know better than me, because I came in 2003, and until 2012 there was no law on human trafficking in Ohio. There were 6 states in the U.S. where there was no law on human trafficking. That's one. Number two, it took a lot of time. By the time my case went to the FBI, it was 2007. So a lot of evidence, everything was gone, because people always thought that, first of all, people, when I went to the bank and they're trying to threaten me to get me arrested, they say, no, I reached a position in my life at one time that I could not identify myself that I am Harold D'Souza. Can you believe it? And if I came to you also, like many people are not, I went to the bank also, they said, no, they made me feel that I'm telling lies. Well, I told them that I didn't get paid and all. Well, they know that doesn't happen here. People get paid every week or bi-weekly.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they told me that. They said, no, what are you saying? This doesn't happen here. And you're saying 18 months you didn't get paid? So they were not ready to believe me.
Yeah. Well, and whatever became of your traffickers, do you know whatever happened to them? Did they move on, and it just victimize other people?
Yeah, he has been doing this for many years. He's been doing this for a lot of people, but nobody had the courage to speak back. See, understand that. That's the reason I stood up. I said, I'm going to fight. If I have to die, I realized one day that, I was running. I was scared. I was to run from here to there like a rat. They were trying to kill me. He hired a guy to shoot me. There are a lot of things happened in my life. Any other guy would have died. I think it's a blessing of God. I always believe, I'm a strong believer. I was born and raised as a Roman Catholic, and so I always tell, do not tell God how big the storm is in your life, but tell the storm how big the God is in your life.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. So, that I am a strong believer. I always believe I have faith.
Harold, what are you doing now? How do you spend your time fighting back?
Yeah, like now it is a passion for me. I think I've got a purpose in life. I think whatever I went through, it has made me a better human being. And so many victims helped me, Celia, during my situation. So that really touched my heart, because I had 2 boys, and most of the people who were here, the Mexicans or people from different countries, from Filipinos or Cameroon, I worked with, from Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, they helped me. They gave me money. Do you know that? Because I had kids. I didn't have anything. Yeah, they gave me money. This is like, whether it is $10, $50, they supported, because I got kicked out from the restaurant and other stuff. So that's something I owe lifelong for them. That means a lot to me. They're more than family to me. Like, I don't care. Like, we are no blood relation. They're more than blood for me. These people from Nepal, Pakistan, India, and these people are very humble people. They're not rich. Yeah. So like this, they helped me. This I'm talking about 15 years back. I'm talking that time. Like so. But I can't forget my originality. I can't forget that. I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to be their voice. It's not about me. It's not about my story. It is about them.
Yes.
If I can save one victim or one survivor, why not?
Right. Well, and how did you finally get out of that situation again?
Yeah, see, that's a good thing, because it was almost a year or more than a year, and then my wife, she could not take it anymore, because I broke down. I was not talking. I was so scared, and I just didn't know how to handle it. And my wife, like, she saw all this, that I surrendered, like, so I just didn't know what to do. And for me, it was a shame. It was a stigma. So one fine day, after a year, my wife confronted my perpetrator in the kitchen, and my wife was not supposed to work when she came, but he made my wife work from the day one, and fixed her salary $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month. And another thing, understand how this perpetrator's plan. He had that business. I don't know what he did. He had added my wife's name, I don't know, in that business. And he made my wife sign each and every check. Each and every check of the business has been signed by my wife and written by my wife. Every check, in the money which he took as a salary or whatever, you have to always show losses. So he'll withdraw 4,000, 6,000 in his name, and he'll make my wife right. But what happened? We thought that we made because when he was trying to threaten me and blackmail me and do that, and he even tried to sexually abuse my wife. I always tell, if there's a girl involved in labor trafficking, be respectful that sex abuse is there, but the
Yes.
victim will never talk. So we were so scared that, that everything is like in black and white. My wife has written all the checks. But you know how scary it becomes? That it's like that you made a crime.
Yes.
But it was in God's home, there is delay, no denial. Because then when they went and checked, which we never knew, the FBI and all, that behind the check, it was his signatures.
Mm.
So they used my wife. Like,
Yes.
but there's a lot of things that happened. But anyway, so my wife confronted him and told him that, why don't you pay me my back wages? It's more than a year. I need money. So he said, what wages? What salary? Who told you to work here?
Oh no.
Yes, he's saying, who told you to work here? You're not supposed to work. You're illegal. And he puts his hand near his face like a phone call. I'll call the immigration department right now. And then he used those 4 words.
Oh,
I'll get you
yes.
arrested. I'll get you handcuffed. I'll get you jailed, and I'll get you deported. So
Yes.
my wife didn't say a single word. She was quiet. So I was putting the buffet outside. So I came, and then my wife said that, why don't you give that $1,000 which Harold gave you? So he calls me. He looks into my eyes straight and tells me, Harold, what cash? What money?
No.
Like, what are you talking? I was like, it hurt. It's a question of trust, Celia.
Oh
And
my
like,
goodness.
it was a question of trust. It was a question like, I don't know, like it hit me so much. Like my emotions, feelings, sentiments was totally crushed. I was devastated. And I don't know, maybe it is God's blessing that I never even rebuked, never did anything. I just kept quiet. But I'd always tell at that particular moment, in God's home, there is delay, no denial.
Yes.
And my chef was in a similar position in some other state. And he told me, Harold, you need to get out. Otherwise, your wife and your 2 sons and you all 4 are dead. And then he took us to the U.S. Department of Labor. So that is how it happened. But then he kicked us out of the restaurant because you know how the process works. It takes 6 months. They contact the employer. I told them. And then he was trying to he tried to kidnap my kids. He had so much harassment, phone calls, threatening calls from collection department. Can you imagine, Celia, can I remove money from your account, from your bank checking account?
Right. No,
right? He removed money from my account.
Oh my goodness. You ended up going to the Department of Labor.
Dance's case went to Wage and Hour Division at Columbus.
Uh-huh.
And we both won the case. It took 6 months. It took 6 months. And he told me that you will not win and this and that. I already bribed the investigator. So I went one day to the investigator. 4 months. I told him everything. I actually went and looked into his face, into his eyes, but I didn't have the courage to tell him. And I said, this man will cheat me. He'll put me in the ditch. And he told me very so confidently that I already corrupted him. I have greased his spam and he's not going to do anything. He'll go to prison. And I said, oh my God, because India, is different. There's a lot of corruption and other stuff. But anyway, but that man was really honest. He's still in touch with me. But I not told him, but understand what trauma I went through then.
Yeah. Wow.
Then job and family came to pick up my kids. How people lose faith, victims, on law enforcement agencies. Why they don't come out and talk. That's why there is no data on labor trafficking, because nobody wants to come out and talk because they know that they'll go to jail or they'll get imprisoned.
Right.
Or they'll not get justice. So job and family, Celia came to pick up my kids. Can you imagine? I'm a victim and they don't know also that they're not even asking this thing. Because my perpetrator told them that I'm abusing my child. I didn't know also what is child because I was in the hospital. I got admitted in the hospital because they put 9 units of blood. I was a dead man. And when I come back from the hospital, the same day, this one young smart lady comes and knocks the door. And I didn't know, so I opened the door. I just came at 10 o'clock from home. From the hospital, I just lying down, I never thought I'll make it. But by God's blessing, I recovered. And then she says that I come from job and family. So I just heard the job. So I thought she's come to give me a job. Because I don't know what is job and family.
Yeah.
So then she saw the look on my face that I was very normal. I didn't react or get upset or got stressed out. So she removed the badge from her coat and she's putting it on my face and showing it to me. Do you understand? I'm from job and family. I hid this badge because I didn't want the neighbors to see. Because if they see it, they know that I'm coming to pick up your kids. I'll put both your sons in the car. They'll cry and you cannot do anything.
Oh my goodness.
And you cannot stop me. So I said, oh shoot, what happened? It was like a shock. And what is this? I mean, I didn't know anything. So like she just entered my house, and she was like, she was worse than a cop. Like she was just
Yes.
abusing me. She was thinking that I'm a criminal, like like a murderer or what. She treated me
Yes.
like that. Like, and maybe she's doing her job. I don't know how to do their job. So, and then like, where are your kids? So my kids are not. And for my bad luck or good luck, whatever, my younger son, he just walked in after 5 minutes. So, but I need to talk to him. Now I didn't know
Mhm.
anything. So then she talks to him. She takes him inside, and she asks my son, "Do you know 911?" The first question she asked, and my younger son said no. And believe me, any foreign national who's in the United States of America, even if you keep a gun on his head, he will not call 911. He'll never call. Everybody's scared of 911. Everybody's scared of the cop. If they see a cop in the car or coming, they'll take a U-turn. I should do that. If I see
Yeah.
a police car or something, I have to take a U-turn. I have to go on the other side.
Do you have your kids and your wife with you now?
Yeah, we are all together now. We are all doing good. So today I'm a happy man. We're all doing good. Like, I'm on the advisory council. My older son, he graduated 6 months early. He's working for Tesla in Chicago. He does a lot of
Oh,
awareness on human
excellent.
trafficking. Yeah, he's doing very good. He does a lot of charity. And we do a lot of community service. My younger son, he graduated 1 year early. He graduated last month on August 10th.
Excellent. And so
Yeah.
what could we do, Harold, to be a little more sensitive and aware to people who might be labor trafficking victims, or even when we interact with them?
I always tell, look, listen, learn, love, live, and laugh with a victim. You might meet somebody at the gas station, at a convenience store, or anywhere, or even if you're traveling at a park, anywhere. He might look dirty, he might look ugly, he might look uncivilized, he might look like a savage, he doesn't know how to talk. But you don't know that he or she might be a victim of labor trafficking or sex trafficking. And he or she will not talk in the very first meeting, believe me. They will never talk. They do not have the trust. So you're just giving a shake hand or
Mm-hmm.
just hugging them and just asking them, hey, what's your name? Hey, beautiful, what's your name? Oh, handsome. And just repeat their name to them. They'll feel so good because they've been abused so much. So even if you just take their name and maybe in the second meeting or third meeting, they will change and they'll have some hope. Because I was very scared to talk to any American.
Yes.
I was
So
not willing. I was not willing because I was thinking that if I talk to American, they'll put me in jail.
yeah, so we need to be a little more sensitive. We need to listen, we need to learn, we need to love, we need to try over and over and over, because there's a fear there that people don't want to talk to. They don't, victims might not want to talk to us because they're afraid. We're going to call the police. We're going to act like we're the police. We're going to judge, we're going to stigmatize. And that's not really what we should be about if we're in anti-trafficking work, or we're trying to help our fellow human being.
That's right, especially in labor trafficking. And then whenever you see something, I always tell in my presentation now that save the human trafficking number on your cell phone, the national hotline, the local numbers. So I always tell
Yes.
them to save it on your cell phone. Like if anything is there, you don't have to get involved. Just call them and tell them, hey, I saw something at this gas station or at the restaurant. I think he or she could be a victim of labor trafficking. So just call the hotline number. So there are resources available and they know how to handle it.
Yes. Yes. So, Harold, you're doing well today. And so it's wonderful that you are doing all the work that you're able to do. What advice would you have for somebody that wants to work in the area of labor trafficking? They really want to help labor trafficking victims. What would your advice be? What should they do?
I think that's a very good question. Like if people are interested to like what I always tell like every individual has got some passion. Like I I think that you're into academics, right?
Yeah.
Like and there are some people like who are doctors at a very high level or people are lawyers. So I did so many presentations and I'm so happy that one of the doctors is a very high profile doctor. His name is Dr. Scott Silverstein. I can proudly say that. He's a good human being. He's very famous. He is volunteering his time to do dental cleaning for victims of labor trafficking. And his
Oh,
volunteering means he does not even charge $1. See, I love that. See, that is how you can do. You can devote your time. It's a question of time and love. You don't have to give money. Give just give about 5 minutes a day, or just give about 2 hours a month of your profession. There's one lawyer. I did a presentation in August here, and he was in the crowd. I didn't know how he came. and he works. He's a very good lawyer, and he works with immigrants on their work. And he came to me. Then he took me out for lunch. He was very touched with my story, and he says, Harold, I want to help victims. Get me victims, and I will not charge them. And I just got him one lady. She's 72 years old. She's a victim of domestic servitude in New York, and she came in the year 1998. And I met her here in Cincinnati, and she's struggling. Now he's helping her with the case. We just met last week, and then he just emailed me that the legal aid is going to take up her case. I was so happy. So people, yes, see, so you can do so much. Like if you're a school teacher, and you can ask the kids, because the kids might be the victims of the parent, might be victim of labor trafficking. So there are so many things that you can do: free meals or extracurricular activities. Just engage the kids, because my kids could not afford the meal plan, but the principal knew that something is wrong in our families, so they offered my kids free meal plan. Try to devote your time, not money. Nobody wants the money. Just be compassionate. If you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, or any other profession, you can always say, okay, I'll do this, but I'll do it free.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. If somebody a lawyer donated one case, they did pro bono, a doctor donated something. Each person can spend a few minutes, a few hours, one case, just helping for free. And I think that's a great idea. Is there anything that you would like us to know as people are trying to learn to be advocates, and people are trying to be professionals that might work in the area of labor trade? Is there any special advice that you would give for the professional who might engage somebody who's a labor trafficking victim?
Yeah, I always tell, you all did a program in Toledo on human trafficking. You all do that every year. And there are so many conferences happening nationally every year, especially the NGOs or service providers and even law enforcement agencies. I always say engage survivors, engage them. Especially in labor trafficking, there are no male survivors. Nobody, you'll find always girls, and it's always about sex. But you need to engage more male survivors, make them to talk, number one. Number two, whenever you all do these programs, I encourage that you all should invite a lot of survivors or common people, victims, just tell them, come and sit in the audience. Because when they attend those programs, they get courage, hope. You don't have 50% of the battle is won, because when you can't even convince them, but when they sit in the audience and see people do presentation and talk, that gives them courage, that gives them hope, that gives them freedom. Because I did that, because my service provider had invited me 12 years back for some events like that, and I was sitting in the crowd as a layman, and she told, don't speak, and they were talking about my case in that presentation.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there in the audience. But that changed me so much, because they were they were law enforcement agencies, there were different people, Catholic charities doing a presentation there. It was a whole day event, and we just sat down as a common people, and we just walked away in the evening. But I walked away with so much hope, so much courage.
And now that you do a lot of presentations and teach people about labor trafficking. If someone's interested in talking more to you about labor trafficking, or perhaps having you as a presenter, how do they get in touch with you?
I am there on the Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook by the name of Harold D'Souza. I try to reach people across, not only in the US but globally. And a lot of people call me. I have people, a lot of victims, they call me, and even girls who are into domestic violence, might be from India. I just got a call from Columbus, and so my telephone number is open. I've written a book. I just launched a book last week at the White House, Frog in a Well.
Oh, and so it's called Frog in a Well?
Yeah, it's the name of the book is Frog in a Well, and on September 12th, I had the golden opportunity to launch it at the White House in Washington, D.C. So again, it was a blessing in disguise. I never thought I'll write a book. It was something like a mission impossible.
Well, that's excellent. And where can people pick up the book?
It is there on Amazon.
Good. And so is it about your experiences, or what's the book about?
Yeah, right now the book is more about an inspiring book about quotes and all. My overall objective is not about the negativity. I said I turned obstacles into opportunities. I don't crib what happened in my life. I can't change the past, but I can change the present and the future. So I tell people, most of the time, silence or a suicide is not a solution. But many times people commit suicide or they become quiet. I said that's not the solution or should not be an option. So many times, whether it's a broken relationship, you got unemployment, you're into poverty, you got a critical health issue, maybe like a cancer, you're going to die. Don't quit. Or you're a victim of labor trafficking or sex trafficking. After all the trauma I went through, I changed. Like I always say, survivors are poor starters, but strong finishers in life.
Yes, I love that. And so Frog in a
Yeah.
Well is inspirational.
Yeah. So why I'm saying frog in a well? Because I grew up in a village in India. Because this is about a true story. Because we don't have running water and electricity yet today in many houses in India, in my village. So we draw water from the well. So every household has a well. So you draw water from the well. So you draw water from the well, even for your shower and all, everything. So in every well, there is a frog. And the frog thinks there's the world. Because there is water, there's everything. So he doesn't know there's a better world outside the well, the bigger world. Same way in the case of human trafficking, whether it is sex trafficking or labor trafficking, he or she is under the control of the trafficker or perpetrator. And he thinks, oh, I'm comfortable here. I get good clothing, food, shelter, everything. Maybe getting abused also, but doesn't know there is a better world outside. You have better life. You have freedom. You can live your life.
Thank you so much, Harold. I appreciate so much because I know you're busy and I value your time. So I thank you so much for enlightening us about labor trafficking and continuing to fight that good fight and keeping us remembering that there are lots of labor trafficking victims and they're afraid, and we have to keep trying and not focus all the time on sex trafficking, but make sure that we have a balance between labor and sex trafficking, because all victims deserve to become survivors and thrivers. So I thank you so much for your time, and I'm so appreciative that you're in the world and that you're doing all this great work and educating us and sensitizing us. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, thank you very much. I just want to say from the rock bottom of my heart, because I communicate with a lot of victims or survivors, not only here, but in my own country, like with Mexicans and Indians and other from Pakistan. I share with them whatever I do, and they get so much courage and they feel so happy that, oh, these people are so good. Like, if I tell them I did a podcast with you, I tell them, I share with them, everything. So that gives them, oh, these people are good. So that gives them more courage. So thank you for doing it. It really means a lot, not only to the general community, but means a lot to the people who are victims.
We just heard from Harold, a victim of labor trafficking, a survivor, and now a thriver. He came from a culture that emphasized trust in faith and promise. He came to live a better life, but instead was worked 16-hour days, 7 days a week. He watched his family be demeaned. He was called an illegal and made to feel like a criminal and a slave. He felt as though he failed as a provider, as a parent, as a protector, and as a person. No one that came to the restaurant where he was forced to work saw his enslavement. His first interaction with any system was Job and Family Services, and that was horrific. When Harold heard Job and Family Services, he thought that they were there to help him get a job, only to find out that they were there to reinforce his feelings of being stigmatized and less than. He experienced this with the bank when he went there to complain. He experienced this with the police. They all asserted their power and control over someone that had lost all power and control as a result of his trafficking experience. He, like other victims, are afraid of the police. They're not sure if the police are involved in this criminal enterprise. Either way, he was sure that the police would incarcerate him. Today, we have the Trafficking Victims Protection Act to protect victims like Harold. But we still need advocates to make sure that authorities don't get confused and deport and criminalize people who are really victims of human trafficking. After years of darkness, Harold is leaving light everywhere he goes. To contact Harold on Facebook, it's Harold, Harold, D'Souza, D''Souza. Also, Harold mentioned calling into the National Human Trafficking Hotline to report any suspicious activity. You can report anonymously to 888-3737-888. And remember, nation, you have to do everything you can as an advocate when someone is devalued, mistreated, when you see others that think freedom should be afforded to some while they count the cash they made off the backs of someone else. And we need to wake up the beautiful people who go to work every day, go to church on Sunday, and don't know that there are people in the world that don't have freedom, that are enslaved in modern-day slavery. The greatest mistake of a movement is to try and organize a sleeping people. First, you have to wake people up, thus the term being woke. Malcolm X said you can't separate peace from freedom because no one can be at peace that doesn't have freedom. If Harold's story is emotionally disturbing to you, it should be. And you can be labeled along with me as emotionally disturbed. But you don't need to go and take medication for this type of emotional disturbance. And you don't need counseling in the traditional sense. And I know if you're like me, you'd like to awaken every dragon, every wolf, every monster that sleeps down inside you. And I know you'd like to go out and remind traffickers what the hell really looks like when it wears the skin of an advocate. But instead, you can channel that energy into your advocacy. Your weekly counseling session is this podcast. But your weekly counselor is dangerous because I will bring you the truth. And as the saying goes, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. But you'll learn to be an effective advocate. Learn as much as you can and then channel that knowledge into effective anti-trafficking work. You're not alone. You have the nation behind you, the Emancipation Nation. Let's not just do something, let's do the best thing. If you like this episode of Emancipation Nation, please subscribe and I'll send you the weekly podcast. Until then, the fight continues.